welcome to this Rules You Got Wrong video for our first Warmachine Hordes bat rep. It was the Khador battle box versus my Trollblood battle box with Les and I playing. So this video is just a look at the comments we received, some of the rule mistakes that were pointed out, and some other ramblings I decided to throw in there. So we'll jump right into the comments. And just so you know, the comments came from a number of different sources. I posted the video to the Privateer Press forum, the Mini Wargaming, Farseer, Daka, the Bulls, Arbella Blah Souls. I think that's all of them, at least that I posted to. I've seen, I think it's gone to a couple other sites as well. So if I'm missing anyone's comments from any of the sites that I didn't mention, let me know and I'll address them as well. So we'll start off. First of all, we got a lot of positive response from the bat wrap, which is nice. Like PJ Jackalus and Lord Commander Caravan, sorry, cut off here, both complimented on the bat wrap, so appreciate that. Going into Chris 566 Ryan from YouTube commented that Les wasn't boosting his attacks, wasn't using his focus correctly. I think in the case, at least the part I looked at turn 3, he was. We just didn't capture it correctly with the video camera. So he was doing what he was supposed to, we just didn't see it on the video. So Serious Monk from YouTube commented about the filming. Says the format is nice with the camera, from the camera perspective. I would think having the original sound would be better if possible to see what you discuss and how things are resolved. It would be a wonderful idea if we could do that. The problem is the video would be about 2 hours, since Les and I spent a lot of time discussing things back and forth and trying to puzzle out the rules and pestering people around us as well. So maybe eventually we can go into a little bit more detail, like what we're thinking during the gameplay. But for this style of bat rap, it's more of having that original dialogue. Plus, it'd sound a lot noisier too, because you'd have all the background noise of the other people. Because where we were playing, there was probably a good 20-25 people playing games all around us, so it would have been a lot noisier and would have been, to me, it's distracting. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. So, but definitely something we can think about down the road. So Kawashi Hatari from YouTube commented. First, actually this was in a few people commented on this as well. This is to address my question about when do you assign Fury to a knockdown jack. And he says, you can allocate focus to a knockdown jack. You have to spend one focus immediately in the control phase in order to pick him up. Also, as a suggestion, don't physically knock down your models. Use the knockdown token, which we actually had because we both used the token sets. So one, to address, you're 100% correct on that one. And also, Bits and Pieces NL made the same comment about that as well. And about the knocking down, it was, Les and I talked about that afterwards, because the whole Sorsha item, not knowing where she was sitting exactly, that range would have been a lot better. Also, when I had my game with Dave at Mini Wargaming, he had a really nice nightmare, which I put on its side. I'm sure he would have appreciated if I just put the knockdown token beside it rather than potentially wrecking the paint job. So several reasons, not just for gameplay, but for the longevity of the paint jobs of the models. I think going forward, we're just going to use the knockdown tokens. Although it looks more dynamic or dramatic when you see a model on its side, but for gameplay, I can give that one a go. Also, Kawashi's comment, also when the model's knocked down, it has a base defense of 5, so your roll of 5 should have easily hit Sorsha. And this is, Les and I had to talk about this as well, and again, this is the first Warmachine games we filmed, and we've only played a handful of games before that, and I found, because I've done a number of Warhammer 40,000 battle reports, and I found just the filming's a little bit different. I was kind of surprised how much more, it's just, the feel for me was a little bit different, so I'm pretty sure I was getting wrapped up in what I was doing and not always filming when I was supposed to. So the one thing we thought is that Sorsha may have actually cast Fog of War, which gives concealment, which is a +2 to the defense, but it still would have only bumped her up to 7 defense, and with my mat, I believe Madrick has a mat of 6, with the roll of 5, it still should have hit her, but I think it was just a case where we messed that one up. So Unwritten Glory from YouTube complimented us again. Great bad rap. I'm still new to the game. We forget rules all the time. Well, that seems to be the trademark so far. We'll see if we get better. So I hope you post more. And Les and I are actually trying to get a game arranged in the next couple days so we can have more. Not sure if we're going to rematch or if he's going to bring the Man of Wars that come with the 2-player box set. But we'll have something in the next little while, hopefully. So depending on our schedules. So Bits and Pieces NL also complimented, thank you. And he also commented on my Fury management, which a few people have commented on as well. It says you can't get rid of Fury on your Warlock when your turn starts, so you have to have room. So you have to leech from the beast. If there's Fury left on the lock, it stays. Then you leech whatever you have whatever you have room for, and the beast will, with Fury left on it, then have to take a threshold check. And that is correct. I misread. There's a rule on page 77 within the Hordes rulebook that talks about discarding Fury, and I'll paraphrase, but it says you can discard whatever you want, but it's during the Warcaster's activation phase, not during the control phase. So that was a bit of confusion on my part. So I remember reading it, I just didn't have I had the placement in the order wrong. So going forward, I won't be doing that. And I guess the best way is just to cast off as much magic you can get to get those get rid of that excess Fury. So I think if I'm with Madrick with the even with the 3 light war beasts, I can, if I'm only being able to take 5 Fury back, I'm gonna have to I can't push those guys too far, or just hope I can make the threshold checks. So which, as you saw, the Axer didn't do. So okay. And then Chris 566 Ryan commented the same thing about Fury, talking about how you can't just throw it away. And he also commented, also no one used their feet. If Sorsha was on her last turn, it would have been a Khador kill. Also, sorry, there's no Furying away, as I know. Also, nobody used their feet, and that's a correct point. Les, I think, just forgot about the feet. For me, the feet, at least my understanding, and anytime I make comments that don't make any sense, or you think I'm wrong, by all means comment below. But my feeling for Madrick's feat, which basically gives him a free attack every time he does a kill, when you only have two heavy warjacks, Khador heavy warjacks, and then a Warcaster, odds are you're not going to get the feet off, because you're not going to destroy a Khador Warjack in a single set of attacks. So that's why I didn't bother with my feet. To me, the way I see it is more good against infantry. If you got a lot of smaller models or like single hit models, it'd be fantastic. Or if you've got a couple things beaten down where they're almost gone, that'd be one thing. But I think the Warjacks combined had maybe 10 or 12 points of damage on them. I was focusing more on going after Sorsha. So for my feet, and again with Les, I think it was just a case that he forgot, unfortunately. So, and then Sticky Worm answered the knockdown question his way. Now he said there's 2 ways to stand up. During your control phase, the Warjack can use 1 point of focus to stand up after allocating. The Warjack or Warcaster can use, or during their activation. Now I looked that up, and I see no reference to being able to stand up your Warjack during your control phase. It's only during your activation. So again, if I'm incorrect, comment below and let me know. Also, he commented about Sorsha being defense 5 when she was knocked down, so I should have get her with that roll of 5. And he also says that Sorsha, if she could have popped her feet and killed Madrick on turn 3 with Wind Rush, her threat range is crazy far, and her feet means auto-hitting melee attacks. And you're right, the game could have been a lot different if Les had remembered that. So, Falkman from Warseer commented, those 2 Elf Tower train pieces were amazing. Where'd you get them? They're actually at the store. I haven't had a chance to talk to the owner. It's Phoenix Games in downtown Kitchener in southern Ontario. That's where he's got some fantastic terrain. I think for the people that watch the Warhammer 40,000, they actually have a broken up old armor cast Titan they use as terrain, which it looks fantastic. So he also talked about, keep in mind that spells, including buff spells, have a very short range in Warmachine. Madrick probably would not have been able to cast Surefoot on the Impaler, since Surefoot only has a range of about 6 inches. And that actually is correct. I was misreading this when I read your comment, but I believe he was within range. I know he was out of range because he would have been 18 inches. You're right. Good call on that one. And Real Mike Bob from Warseer said, complimented the report. Thank you. And just curious, did you forget about your feet? Yes, we did. We talked about that. Also, when the models are knocked down, you don't put them on the side, as you have to measure from their bases. Put the marker aside. Again, we've addressed that one as well. And talked about discarding Fury, so we talked about that. And once again, nice report. So thanks, Real Mike Bob. And Les commented, he's under the Privateer Press forums under his Comrade Khador username. I should have popped my feed and it would have been a totally different outcome. If we get any rules wrong, we really are both new to the game, so feedback is welcome and needed. I agree to that one. So, and lastly, the last comment I have here is from RJ from the Privateer Press, and he talked about Surefoot has a range of 6 inches. So many of the friendly, many of the friendly buff spells. You take some time deploying. So take some time deploy planning and make sure your models get the spells you want them and be able to move them when they need to. And that's correct. That was just sloppy. Well, I ran that time too, so you can tell I'm not quite there. Your Axer charge at the beginning seemed a little bendy in the video, although I'm sure he would have charged the Juggernaut in any case. But with his 2-inch range, be careful about charging a straight line, as the game has expectation that models can protect themselves from charges by using intervening terrain. And I'd forgotten that last 3 inches has to be a straight line, and the way that he was aside, that's actually a valid point. And you can't tell if you applied melee and model penalties to the Axer's Impaler's attacks on the Juggernaut engaged by the Axer. If not, it didn't make it into. If not, make sure you take into account. And that was the -4, and we actually did take that into account. And actually, I had a question, which I have to admit I just thought about now, and I haven't made a point of looking it up. And again, please comment below or give me the page number in the manual or the rule book. But the point of me moving the Axer in, because he had that reach, he had that 2 inches. So I was, and then less because his Warjack only had the 1/2-inch melee range. With him being within my melee range, was he able to move without a penalty, or is he allowed to move as not? Because the way we sort of read it, he was already in that melee attack range, so he could come in. But part of me says, well, you know, you're actually repositioning yourself. You're moving yourself. Is there a free strike then, or is it because he's already in that range where I'm able to hit him? Is it just I have to wait until he comes in? So comment below and let me know. I mean, I could look it up, I guess, myself, but I haven't gotten around to it so far. So. And knockdown jacks can be assigned focus during the control phase, and they may spend a focus point at the end of the control phase to shake knockdown and stand up. And this is another thing I looked at. I was checking out knockdown in the rulebook, and I didn't see any reference. The only thing I saw a reference to knockdown is that when you have to spend a focus to get up at the beginning of your turn. Now RJ is saying that if they may stand up in normal. I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Start over again here. So knockdown jacks can still be assigned focus during the control phase, which we've determined. They and the Warcaster may spend a focus at the end of the control phase to shake knockdown and stand up, and if they may stand up in the normal way during their activation by forfeiting their movement or combat action. War beasts are similar, and that was my understanding. Is you stand up, you can either attack standing still, no special attacks or no start attacks, or you can move, but you can't do both. But from what I'm reading here, he's suggesting you can stand up during the control phase, which I haven't seen any reference unless it's in a special rule, or if it's in an FAQ or an update that is in the original rule book. So again, comment below if you can to let me know. So that's it for the comments. This is a week after the videos are posted, so we've had a good response, so thank you very much. I'm hoping to get a few more games in with less. There's a few where the local meta, I haven't really gone too far out of my core group of people we play with. There's about 4 or 5 of us now that are playing. We've got a Circle player, we've got a Legion player. Les has both Khador and Minnoth from the 2-player starter. I've got Trollbloods, and if you can see, I've got the Signar stuff I'm going to be starting shortly as well. So we have enough of the factions. So I'm going to do a number of the battle box battles just to get ourselves sort of our feet wet and sort of get used to the rules before we really start expanding too much. I have enough to fill about 35 points now, but everyone else is a little bit behind me other than Les. So comment below, do the battle box battles, are they worth watching for the veteran players? The guys have been playing for a while. Do you want to see those, or do you want to see the bigger games? And then I know that the novice people or the new people new to the game are liking this just because you're watching some noobs play noobs. When you're a noob, it kind of helps out. So let me know what you think, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll hopefully have some new videos for you shortly.